Back to the Future, the movie where a teenager travels to the past and almost accidentally sleeps with his mother. Let me explain why this crazy adventure remains a masterpiece. 5 things that make this the perfect movie. 3 things that definitely shouldn't work but somehow do. And 1 plot point so awkward you'll wonder how it became a family classic. If you've never seen Back to the Future or are wondering why people keep talking about it, stick around. I'll break it all down for you in the next few minutes. Let's start with why this crazy time travel comedy is actually brilliant. First, the script is airtight, like suspiciously good. Every single scene serves a purpose. Every joke, every character, every detail pays off later. The clock tower gets struck by lightning? That's the climax. The mayor is asking for donations? He becomes mayor. Doc Brown's dog is named Einstein. Because of course he is. Marty's girlfriend calls him Chicken? That's literally the plot of the sequel. There is zero fat on this script. It's a masterclass in storytelling, wrapped in a comedy about a DeLorean. Second, Michael J. Fox is perfect, like born to play this role perfect. Marty McFly is cool but dorky, confident but overwhelmed, quick thinking but constantly screwing up. Fox makes it all look effortless. He skateboards through town, he plays guitar at a school dance, he invents rock and roll by accident, and you believe every second of it. The man has charisma for days. Third, Christopher Lloyd as Doc Brown. This man is unhinged. He's screaming about flux capacitors, hanging off clock towers, and talking to teenagers like they're his only friends. Which, let's be honest, they probably are. Doc Brown has exactly 1 friend, and it's a 17-year-old kid. That's weird. We don't talk about how weird that is, but it's weird. Anyway, Lloyd commits so hard to the bit that you don't question it. You just accept that this wild-eyed scientist is the heart of the movie. Fourth, the chemistry. Marty and Doc have one of the best friendships in cinema, and it makes 0 sense. Why are they friends? How did this happen? Who introduced them? We never find out, and honestly, it doesn't matter. Their dynamic works. You care about them. When Doc gets shot in the parking lot, it hits. When Marty saves him at the end, it's genuinely satisfying. Now let's talk about the things that absolutely should ruin this movie, but somehow don't. Starting with the big one. Marty's mom has the hots on him, like aggressively. Lorraine McFly sees this strange boy, doesn't know he's her future son, and decides, yep, I need to make out with that guy. She sneaks into his room. She asks him to the dance. She tries to kiss him in a parked car. And Marty is horrified, as he should be, because this is his mom. In any other movie, this would be creepy and unwatchable. But somehow Back to the Future makes it funny. It's all played for comedy, and Michael J. Fox sells the sheer panic of, I need to get away from my attractive teenage mother before this gets weirder. It's absurd, it's uncomfortable, and it works because the movie never lingers. It keeps moving, keeps joking, and trusts you to roll with it. Second weird thing, the time travel logic is, let's call it flexible. Marty changes the past and photos update in real time. He starts disappearing because his parents might not get together. But also, he remembers the original timeline. Shouldn't his memories change too? And if he's disappearing, why do his siblings disappear first? They're older. Shouldn't he go first? None of this makes sense. But the movie moves so fast, you don't have time to think about it. It just says, don't worry about it, here's a skateboard chase. And you go, okay, cool. Third weird thing, Marty is really good at guitar. Like, really good. Good enough to blow minds at a 1955 school dance. When did he learn this? We see him practicing once in his garage, and suddenly he's Jimi Hendrix. Also, he invents rock and roll. Chuck Berry's cousin hears Marty play Johnny B. Good, calls Chuck, and Chuck steals it. So Marty McFly is responsible for rock and roll. That's canon. This movie is wild. Let's talk about the genius details that make this movie rewatchable. The film is packed with visual gags and callbacks. In 1985, the town square has a working clock and a clean courthouse. In 1955, it's under construction. In 1985, there's a guy asking for clock tower donations because it broke in 1955. The movie trusts you to notice this stuff without pointing it out. The Twin Pines Mall becomes the Lone Pine Mall after Marty runs over a pine tree in 1955. That's a joke that pays off an hour later, and if you blink, you miss it. That's confidence. That's a movie that respects your intelligence. The performances in the past versus the present. Leah Thompson and Christopher Glover play totally different versions of their characters depending on the timeline. In the original timeline, Lorraine is an alcoholic, and George is a pathetic pushover. In the new timeline, Lorraine is fit and happy, and George is a confident author. They're the same actors, but they embody totally different people. That's range. And the music. Alan Silvestri's score is iconic. The main theme is triumphant and adventurous. It makes you feel like anything is possible. Huey Lewis wrote The Power of Love for this movie, and it's so good it became a hit. The soundtrack is perfect. Every song choice, every musical cue, it all works. The pacing is perfect. This movie is an hour and 56 minutes and it doesn't waste a second. The first act sets up the rules. The second act is problem solving and comedy. The third act is a thrilling race against time. There's no boring middle section. It just goes and it never lets up. Okay, now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Some things haven't aged well. Biff is a sexual predator. Plain and simple. He tries to force himself on Lorraine in a car and the movie treats it like, that scoundrel Biff. George punches him, Biff leaves, and we move on. In 2026, that scene sounds different. It's used to build drama, but the resolution is too weak. Biff should be in jail, not just unconscious and humiliated. Also, the only black character in the entire movie is the mayor, and he barely appears. This movie is set in the 1950s and 1980s, and somehow everyone is white. Even the background extras. It shows. The movie isn't malicious, but it's a time capsule of 1980s cinema, and that includes its lack of diversity. And the whole Marty's mom is into him thing. I know I already mentioned it, but it's worth repeating. The film tries to make it funny, but let's face it, it's weird. The fact that Lorraine tilts about it at the end, saying, "I don't know what it was, but when your father kissed me, it was like kissing my brother," isn't brilliant. That's your son, Lorraine. You were flirting with your son. Let's not get carried away. But the point is, none of this ruins the film. It's a product of its time, and you can recognize the awkward parts while still appreciating the overall brilliance. So why does Back to the Future still work 40 years later? Because it's simply fun. It doesn't try to be profound, gritty, or dark. It's a big, absurd adventure about friendship, time travel, and getting your parents to fall in love. It's optimistic. It believes in good people doing good things. And in 2026, when everything is cynical and exhausting, that's refreshing. The movie has heart. Marty loves his family, even though they're a mess. Doc loves science and believes in Marty when no one else does. George learns to stand up for himself. Lorraine discovers she's worth more than she thought. These are simple, universal stories, told with wit and charm. Plus, it's endlessly quotable. Great job, Scott. This is tough. If you put your mind to it, you can achieve anything. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. People have been quoting this movie for decades, and its lines never get old. And the DeLorean. Let's be honest, the DeLorean is the coolest time machine ever. It's a stainless steel sports car that needs to reach 148 kilometers per hour and has a flux capacitor that looks like a glowing Y. It's ridiculous. It's impractical. It's iconic. You can't imagine this movie with any other car. Back to the Future is comfort food cinema. It's the movie you put on when you need a smile, when you want to remember what it's like to watch something that is purely and simply entertaining. So is Back to the Future still worth watching? Absolutely. Is it perfect? No. Does it have some weird, uncomfortable moments? Yes. But it's also one of the most entertaining, cleverly written, and joyfully fun movies ever made. It's a movie that makes you laugh, makes you care, and makes you believe in the impossible. Michael J. Fox is magnetic. Christopher Lloyd is unforgettable. The script is a blueprint for how to write a perfect story. The music is iconic, the pacing is flawless, and despite its flaws, it's a movie that holds up. If you've never seen it, watch it. If you haven't seen it in years, rewatch it. You'll remember why you fell in love with movies in the first place. It's lightning in a bottle. Pun absolutely intended. Final rating, 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's a classic for a reason. Just maybe don't think too hard about the Marty and his mom thing. let's all agree to move past that. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, hit that like button and subscribe for more movie reviews with questionable humor. I've got some classics coming up, so stick around. And let me know in the comments, is Back to the Future a perfect movie, or am I giving it too much credit? Also, would you trust Doc Brown with your life? Because I wouldn't. I'll see you in the next one.